Joining me today is Klaus Sinn out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Out of an audience of more than 100,000 agents nationwide, Klaus has been selected to represent Broker Agent Advisor as this month's Broker Agent of the Month for the state of Florida. And Klaus, it's been a treat for me to get to know you through this process, and I've enjoyed the conversations we've had. And I just want to say congratulations on being recognized and tell you how much I appreciate you joining me.
I appreciate that, Brian. I'm really excited to be here and appreciate that. I'm even being recognized, didn't expect that.
Well, you're the perfect fit. And this recognition is all about finding the men and women in this business that contribute positively to what we do as a profession. And it's my hope, Klaus, that people that see this get a sense for who you are and just get some sense of why you were selected. And I thought we would take a few minutes and just explore a few questions together. And I want to start with the topic of real estate. You're down there in sunny Florida. People may be able to tell by your accent that you're not from West Palm Beach initially. You've lived all over the world. What's the inspiration to get in this business? How and why did you decide to become a realtor?
Well, that's a good question, and it goes back 26 years because I'm in business for 26 years. Coming to this country, I had absolutely no idea about real estate. I didn't know how it works. I bought a house and, learned not much about it because the agent took care of me and I just signed papers and that was it. But then down the road, I wanted to buy a neighbor's house. Actually, there was a sign there that says foreclosure. I looked at it and I called my agent. I said, what does that mean? I have no idea what it means, right? And it was a vacant house on the water, and he explained to me what it means. And I said, make an offer. I'm interested because I needed a little bit income. I just got here. I had some money, but I really didn't have income. So I thought, okay, I'll buy that as a rental and get some income. And he told me, hey, make an offer. And I made an offer, and he said, that's not enough. I said, what do you mean it's not enough? It needs work. Yeah, but the bank wants, I think it was $110,000, and I offered 75. He said, that's not going to work. And I said, well, it's not going to work, then I'm just not buying it because then it's too expensive. So long story short, of the sudden I see people in the house and I walk over. I said, did you buy the house? Oh no, we're fixing it up. They renovated the whole house for the bank, and I called the agent back. I said, now it's all done. How much is the price now? He said, what? They're still asking the same. I said, so they're not increasing it. That means there was room. Make them an offer for $75,000. He refused again. Said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I said, okay, he knows better. I have no clue. He knows the stuff. And ended up that the house got sold. I walked over to my new neighbors. They paid $72,000 for the house, and I was furious. And so I didn't know really what to do, and I decided I get a real estate license. I can do better than that, and that's why I got the license. I really just got my license. I wanted to buy a few houses, nothing else. But then as I got into it, well, everything changed. It became my job.
Right? 26
Right.
years, Klaus, that's a long time.
Yep. It was a fun time because people had to come in the office if they wanted to know something. There was no internet. It was a very different time than today.
No doubt. Yeah, this business has changed a lot since you've been in it. And it's really interesting, Klaus. I obviously was in real estate myself, and I talk to agents every day. I think most people, generally speaking, outside the industry, think this business is easy and most everybody makes a lot of money, and agents are just all rich. And when you look at the statistics, most people don't find success, and you kind of happened your way into it, but you've earned a really great reputation for the way you approach taking care of people. But it's hard. This business is very hard. What keeps you in it, Klaus? What do you find most rewarding about this business?
Well, what keeps me in it? I never found it to be hard, even though it is. And I think the reason is simply because I have a different view and maybe a work ethic that keeps me on the ball every day. I would say most agents, I read yesterday, 87% of agents go out of business within the first 5 years. And I think the reason for that is everybody is looking for that silver bullet. What is the one thing that makes my life better so that I don't have to work that hard, right? And I think that does not exist. And the internet and all the technology tools, I think, make it even more difficult, because the business is not selling houses. The business has really very little to do with selling houses. The business is making contact with people, creating relationships, talking to people every day, prospecting, prospecting, prospecting. I don't like that word, but that's really what it is. I call it just calling friends, calling people, talking to people. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. If you talk to people, you get the business. If you get the business, you make money. It's that simple.
It is that simple, and you're clearly very good at it. I found a testimonial of yours, Klaus, and I wanted to take a minute to share how a client of yours would describe going through a transaction with you as a realtor.
Oh gosh.
It said, in a saturated market, Klaus was able to find my new home, exclamation point. Klaus always made my wife and I aware of any listings, seller updates, scheduling to see properties, and much more. If you want a realtor who's going to be ahead of the rest, with such knowledge and expertise, who keeps the communication line open, I highly recommend Klaus Sinn as your preferred realtor. Klaus, I can't thank you enough. Short and sweet, but there are a bunch of these, Klaus. It's very clear and evident. And obviously I know this about you, having gotten to know you a little bit, but you take a great deal of pride in those relationships you have and the role you play in helping people navigate these transactions.
Well, I just said we're not selling houses, and I think what we do, or what we should do, let's say it this way, what we should do is really find a solution for the people's problems. And if we talk to somebody, I think I really focus more on listings than on buyers. But if I talk to somebody who wants to list their house, my first question is always, why do you want to sell the house, right? And I'm not shy to find another solution, because sometimes people have the wrong thought process.
Yeah.
And I remember a lady, she was deep in credit card debt. She wanted to refinance a second home she had, which was free and clear. The bank didn't want to give her a loan, and she came in and said, I need to sell that house to pay my credit cards off. And I found her a solution. I saved her a lot of money, and I said, let's not do that. It is not the logical solution for that, what you need to do. And I think most, or I should say many agents, they're so boxed and narrow-minded that all they're seeing is that house or that property and the commission.
Yeah.
While that's a one-time transaction, and if you don't deal with that client and help them to get the best outcome of their situation, then it will stay a one-time commission. You will never get a referral out of it. You'll never get a second deal out of it. So, and I think that's a big problem out there.
I would agree. Talk to me about where you live. Most people in the U.S. think about vacationing to where you live, and it's where you call home.
Yeah. So the first 15 years in the U.S., I lived in St. Petersburg, which is the Tampa area. I had 2 little kids, and there was not much going on there. At 8 o'clock at night, everything closed.
Huh.
And we always came over here to West Palm Beach for vacationing. And in 2005, I took like a 3-year vacation, and I didn't go to jail. I took a 3-year vacation. And we ended up back in the US in 2008, bought a motorhome, and we traveled the entire US. And we ended up here on the East Coast because we always vacationed here. And my wife said, well, we need a house again. Let's buy it where we do vacation. So we drove down the East Coast, and it was funny that West Palm Beach, they have a downtown area where there's an Italian restaurant, and I think it's called Bellagio, and it has the fountains like Bellagio. And it was Christmas, and the snow was coming down. It was snow machine, and my wife said, here's where I'm going to live. I like it here. And that's how we ended up here. Now, today, West Palm Beach is a great area, a lot of cultural things going on. There's a lot of people from the Northeast. There's a lot of people from other countries. It's a big cultural mix here. We have waterfront. We have all kinds of price ranges from, I would say, 100 grand to 100 million within a bicycle ride. So it's an amazing area. If the boaters for vacationers, for second homes, it's just nice here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Florida has a natural appeal. I think more people move to that state than any other state in the country by a lot. It's also an incredibly competitive state for real estate. I think they say in a typical state here in the U.S., everybody knows 3 or 4 realtors, but if you live down in Florida, everybody knows 12 to 18. It's everybody has their license, and I think, you know, regardless of who may watch this, Klaus, I think a lot of people could benefit from leaning into your experience. And before I let you go, I want to ask you one more question. If you were to give one piece of advice to a peer in this business, a fellow realtor, what would you, based on your 26 years experience, what would that piece of advice be?
Put your face out there. Don't be a secret agent.
Uh-huh.
People don't know you're an agent. You cannot assume just because you're an agent, they know. Even your best friends, unless you stay in contact and put your face out there and ask for business, nothing wrong with it, you will never get the full extent of it because they forget you. And even with following up, you know, it's always, you got to be at the right place, at the right place, at the right time to get the business. But if they don't know you're doing that business, you're not gonna get it. That's my advice. Put your face out there.
Yeah, I think it's great advice. I think you're fantastic, Klaus, and I'm proud to share this moment with you and kind of shine a light on you for your contribution to this industry. The industry is lucky to have you. And I just want to say congratulations again on being recognized. And I wish you nothing but joy and abundance on the rest of your journey.
I really do appreciate it. Again, I'm glad I was here. And yep.
Good stuff, Klaus. Thanks.
Thank you.